Let's go. We got some stuff to talk about, and you guys might not like it, but we're going to talk about it, all right? Because I believe as adult human beings, we should be – no, Prince, you're not going anywhere. Prince, you're not going anywhere, and neither are you, SMD. Neither are you. We got some stuff to talk about. I believe as adults that we should be able to have a discussion. If you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. All right. Now we can do that. All right. We can do that. So I put up a tweet yesterday about Jalen Hurts and what I thought was one showing of a lack of leadership. And it didn't have anything to do with the president. I do not give a shit about the president. I don't give a shit about people's political beliefs. It has nothing to do with that. My take was more that the team was celebrated, all right? And I believe the leader of the team should have been there, okay? I understand it's a complex thing, and people keep telling me, oh, Jalen could do what he wants. I know. Where did I say he couldn't do what he wants? I believe as the leader of the team, you are held, or you at least have a different obligation of responsibility, and it would have been nice to see Jalen Hurts up there. I mean, look, I know people hate Trump, and that's fine. I really don't care. You know, people act like I care. It's like, bro, 75 million people voted against him. There's also 75 million people that voted for him. I really don't care about that. It has nothing to do with the politics of it. All right. I just think Jalen, as the leader of the team, should have been there in that moment. I get it. It's a controversial take. Clearly, thing got like 200,000 views on Twitter. My Twitter notifications, look, haven't stopped in a day and a half. I got to mute the stupid Twitter account. All right. It's stupid. But I think he should have been there. I think it would have been a nice thing to see him up there. That's just my take on it. Again, SMD, the one thing I didn't like, and again, SMD, I respect you greatly, and it's just a difference of opinion. But, I really don't think I ever called him stupid. Like I saw you put that in the chat. Someone is, I think a decision is stupid is a lot different than saying, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a stupid person. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a bad leader. I don't. I thought this was one instance where I didn't agree with his decision. That's all I was saying. And, I think saying that I think he's stupid or Tom Brady is stupid, I think is a little bit too far. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is stupid at all. I think he's actually very smart. And I would have liked to see him up there. I understand that that's not popular. All right. I understand that that's not popular. I understand this very well after my Twitter got like 200,000 views and everybody's on my case trying to proclaim, what I think politically has nothing to do with it. What I think about his race has nothing to do with it. I just think as the leader, you got a different standard. Jalen Carter can blow it off. Nolan Smith can blow it off. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, blow it off. Jalen, I believe, and again, I'm going to take some comments on this too. So if you do disagree with me, I'm not brushing you off. All right. I'd like to talk to you. I'll take all the comments of the people who disagree with me. I'm perfectly good with that. Right. But I believe as the leader, you have a different responsibility, and you represent not only the guys who decided not to go, but the guys who did decide to go, right? Like there was 30 or whatever it was that went. Jalen is the leader of those guys too. And your team was presented on a world stage, and you are the leader. So I thought he should have been there. D. Cruz says you're ignorant. Listen, if you have a disagreement with me, that's fine. I don't think I'm ignorant. I think I've been very receptive to every side of it. All right. If you hate Trump, I think that's perfectly fine. If you wanted Trump to make that political stand, that's perfectly fine. I more would side with someone like John, or, I'm going to give a shout out to Lord Brunson, because me and him are going back and forth on Twitter about it. I thought his take was the best take of anybody that disagreed with me, because he said, for Tom Brady, for Jalen Hurts, for Saquon Barkley. And I'm not giving Brady a hall pass, race. I said very openly and publicly that was stupid. But he said, I think the same applies to all of them. Do what you want to do. I don't give a shit. I think that's fine. 90% of the pushback I got, though, didn't have to do with that. It had to do with Donald Trump. And I'm like, I didn't turn this into Donald. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Biden could be up there. Trump could be up there. Obama could be up there. Hillary could be up there. I don't care. It has nothing to do with that for me. It has zero to do with politics. That was my take on it. And I thought Lord Brunson's take was, again, the most rational of, I'm taking one stance that a player can choose what they want to do. I don't give a shit either way. That was similar to John McMullen's take too. So I have no issue with that. I have no issue with that take. Look at this guy. Eat a dick and go take a long walk off a bridge. Oh, you seem like a lovely, rational human being, right? I'm sure that your opinion on everything is right. Okay, brother. I'm not even saying I'm fucking right. All right. It's just my opinion on the matter. I'm willing to be changed. I'm willing to hear you out. So Dabney says, see, Xander, that's the thing. With this particular administration, it kind of is about Trump. I can't see how you well, I do see that part of it, but Dabney, so is your take that you should put your personal belief before what the team is doing? Because if this is your take, then I would have liked to see Jalen stand up and say we shouldn't go to the White House at all. But Jeffrey Lurie did decide to take the team to the White House. So the team was represented yesterday. So if your take is, hey, Trump is so bad that Jalen's personal convictions outweigh his role as a leader, that's fine. I would disagree with you, but that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion. All right? You're entitled to that opinion. I support Saquon's and Hurts' decision. They are free men allowed to do what they want. I certainly agree with that. They're certainly allowed to do what they want. Nobody has ever said that. I think Jalen has a different obligation as a leader to the team. Prince says, Xander, I understand your perspective, but where I differ is that Sills had an excuse for Brady while criticizing Jalen seems unwarranted. I think that's bullshit. You got to criticize. I said it. People were like, where was your tweet about Brady? I'm like, I was 19 at the time. I didn't make any football content. Forgive me if I don't have a public reference on Tom Brady. I think he was stupid too. Go to the damn White House. Lead the team. All right? So, no, I think Brady was out of line for it too. Again, and here's the other part about that part of it. Ready? Brady was a 7-time world champion and the greatest football player of all time. It doesn't matter as much as we think. Even if I have this take, it doesn't matter that much. Obviously, Brady was very successful as a leader and a quarterback while making those decisions. So I can see the difference of opinion. Absolutely. All right. I can see the difference of opinion. Absolutely. Devontae checks in. What's up, Devontae? I think Hurts should have went as well, but I'm not angry and butthurt like all these other people. You have crazy ass people saying they aren't buying the jerseys of the people that decide to go. No, I'm not in that boat. All right. I'm not in that boat. And in fact, I'll still support Hurts. I still think Hurts is a great player. I think he's the greatest quarterback to ever grace Philadelphia. I think what he has done for this city, no other player maybe has done what he's done in such a short period of time. Think about it, 4 years as a starter, and look at what Jalen Hurts has done for the city. I agree with that. I just thought he should have been there. Simple, right? It's not like there's all these people bringing in like, oh, you're a Trumpian. Like, nothing to do with it. You're a white guy. Nothing to do with it. Again, I understand the complex nature, but I just thought Jalen should have been there as a leader. That was it. That was my only take. I didn't realize it would go so in the other way. All right. That's called convictions. And Hurts has it. Hey, listen, Emirates, I'm perfectly good with that. But I do think as a leader, you're obligated to also the men who decided to go. And the people who decided not to go didn't have anything public yesterday that was being presented on the team that he led, right? People said, well, he was the leader of the guys that didn't go too. That's true. But they didn't have a public showing yesterday, right? They decided to stay home. That's fine. They essentially didn't need a leader. The guys who did go public, I thought the leader could have been there for him. All right. I thought the leader could have been there for him. Crowley says, it has nothing to do with Trump, Xander. It was a team celebration. The leader of the team should have been there. These morons keep thinking it's about Trump, even as Biden was up there. It's a team. Crowley, I do happen to agree. SMD says, okay, so you did say it was stupid. I said the action. One specific instance of the action, SMD. I did not call the player stupid. I believe you insinuated, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you insinuated in the chat, forgive me, I was trying to do 3 things at once, show, talk, produce. I believe you said, I'm not going to say anybody is stupid. Like if a draft pick walked on the stage and slapped Roger Goodell in the face, you would say, hey, that was pretty stupid, right? Like I don't think that forbids me from saying I think something is stupid. Doesn't mean I think the player is stupid. I do get a kick out of this part of it too. People keep saying, oh, it's a free country. I know. I'm free to opine on it. No, I can't have an opinion on the damn thing for crying out loud. Shit, man. Shit. You did. Nobody here did. None of this pushback happen with Brady. I think that's fair criticism of hypocrisy, Emrys. I believe Brady should have went too. All right. JD3 says, I think it's kind of silly that sports teams meet with presidents of any party. I wonder what jock president made the rule that they had to pull up. Yeah, I think that's so heightened because of the hyper-partisan nature of the world we live in. You know, I think it used to be actually just a celebration of the teams that won. I mean, shoot, we're a country and sports teams that sports is a big thing, man. Sports has a big impact. You know, I know it's largely inconsequential when you talk about, real world things, but sports has a big impact on cities, on teams, on players, on, look at all you guys, right? We're in here every day. Look at, people who have jobs. I have jobs. This is my dude. This is my living. This is John McMullen's living, Celia's living. I'm just a very small bucket of what's a very large picture of how much of an impact sports has. So I think it really used to be a celebration, and maybe this is where I'm missing it, where it has gotten away from that, and that's why it's a different arena now, for Jalen to make the decision that he did. Where I invited, I'd 100% go because it's not about Trump. It's about me being celebrated. I think it's about the team being celebrated as Birds. I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Abe says, Xander, it's not like we don't have another chance at getting invited to the White House. We're making the Super Bowl and winning that shit again. Come on now. Yeah, but Abe, not every coach is going to be here. Not every player is going to be here again. Mekhi Becton was up on that stage. Again, I think it's a perfect world to assume that, hey, we're just going to go back and, who cares? I do think that was a special moment for certain people, whether you like it or not. I mean, that doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Curtis says, Z, sucks that things are political that shouldn't be, but like it or not, the world does see it as political. That isn't Hertz's fault. I agree with that. And I think that's one of my big takeaways, from getting the pushback. I'm one of the people, the thing I don't like is like, people just make these like huge proclamations about me as a person because of this take. Like I said, I liked what Lord Brunson had to say. Lord Brunson disagreed with me vehemently. He 100% disagreed with me. He didn't do it in a way like, oh, you're this dude because of that. No, he just said, I disagree with your take. I disagree with your opinion on this. I think that's pretty fun. Why do y'all act blindly with Trump? This has to do with Trump, whether you want to believe it or not. He is controversial, y'all. It is what it is. I think that's fair, Dominique. I think that's been proven. All right. I think that's been proven. I think that's been proven for sure. I'll take a couple more comments on this, and then we'll close it up. Xander, in my opinion, Hertz's choice shows a lack of understanding, not leadership. Choosing sides, intentionally or not, can bring heat. It was optional, but choices have consequences. JH's choice comes with heat. I think that's a fair take. Bob Brown. Not a bad take by you. Why is it hard to believe people really fucking hate this administration? Emirates, it's not hard to believe at all. In fact, I see it. I mean, Emirates, again, I always say this, and I've said this on Xander Time consistently for weeks. Don't let people put you in a box. People try and put me in a box on this topic. You like Trump, so you think this. No. You're a white guy, so you can't make this take. No. I can understand the complexities of the conversation while still having an opinion on it. Again, it doesn't mean you got to agree with me. All right. I do see that. I do know this though. I have many friends, Emirates, who are on your side of the aisle politically. I don't view them as bad people because they don't agree with me politically. In fact, I thought what John said today was great. I'd rather have a good dude who disagrees with me politically than have a dude who agrees with me politically and is a scum of the earth human being. Right? I think that's far more important. Devontae gives me $5. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that, Devontae. Thank you, man. Prince says, Xander, we are in a divided time and politics fuels the fire. People say you should have gone. That is foolish. They don't understand the other half of it, although some do. I do see both sides, Prince. I do see both sides. I want to go to Devontae because I think he maybe meant to put this on his $5 super chat. Devontae, thanks. This might be why Jalen didn't want to go. Who knows? Hertz could love Trump, but he knows the backlash he would get and the support he would lose from a large part of his fan base. Yeah, here's the tough part about this part of it, Devontae, is I do think it was like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, look at the reaction of Jalen not going now, right? It's become, oh, look at who went, look at who didn't, like, right? It's become this huge polarizing thing. And if he did go, maybe it would have highlighted some of the people who didn't go. And maybe he was, I'll say this. maybe that is where he showed leadership to the dudes who didn't go, right? Where he took the heat as the leader for the people who said, I'm not going to that administration's White House. Maybe that is a fair perspective on it. All right. A fair perspective on it. This guy says, you're a lapdog, Janet. HR, I don't think I'm a lapdog at all, brother. Clueless. You have no clue. Dude, can you add bro, all right, it's cool. You disagree. Can you add something of substance other than saying I'm a lapdog and calling me names? I'm clearly trying to bridge the gap between my opinion and your opinion. If you have no interest in that, then good, be gone. To thine own self be true. I respect Saquon for going and Jalen for not going. I have no issue with that take. Had nothing to do with politics for me. I just thought Jalen as the leader does have a different standard. Xander, change your diaper, low Trump. Okay, so this guy's proving that, there is a large section of the people who do not have any complexity or depth of thought. All right? No complexity or depth of thought. I'm a lapdog because I don't agree with him. You make football takes all day for a living. If you have one opinion that I don't agree with, you're a lapdog. Dude, shut up. Please. Give me something of substance. Give me something of substance that is real, okay? That makes sense. Again, I don't mind people who disagree with me. I'm not do you think I sit on a high horse and think my opinion is the only opinion that registers? No, Prince disagrees with me. SMD disagrees with me. Dank Bird Gang disagrees. Devontae disagrees. Plenty of people disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. I see their points. Zoe says Xander got cooked on Twitter. I certainly did get cooked on Twitter. Hertz doesn't want to see that rapist. Zoe, he's entitled to that, I believe, as the leader that he should have put his personal stuff aside and went and let him. People made profiles just to come at you. I know, flexing. All right. I know, Flex. I appreciate the super, bro. Thank you, man. $10 super chat for my boy Flexing and Stepping. Thank you, Flex. Josh B says, anyone who calls someone a lapdog is usually the actual lapdog that hasn't had an original thought. Don't be that person. I appreciate you, Josh B. I appreciate you, and I agree with you. All right. I'm not trying to lapdog for anyone or anything. All right. Look at this guy. Why are you OUTRAGE? Well, what's the matter, brother? All right, let's address with this guy. What's the real issue? Okay, it's not me, OUTRAGE. It's not me. I promise you, the real issue right now for you is not me. It's not. You are a brainless suck out. What is even that? What does that even mean? Come on, man. Are you ready to have a real conversation, or are you just going to chant from your high horse that it's your opinion and anybody else who doesn't agree with my opinion is a lapdog, a suck out, a brainless idiot, whatever the case may be? Come on, man. Have some complexity of thought. Let's go to Texas T, who I know disagreed with me as well. Again, don't have a problem with people disagreeing with me. I think that should be a thing of our world that comes back. Maybe makes a resurgence. Texas T, I think it's so simple, but people are making a big deal about it because they want to argue. I'm not sure 100% of teams go every year, no matter the sport. Well, Texas T, I do agree with that, but do you think Jalen, as the leader, does have a different set of obligations than your average player or any other player on the 53-man roster? There was dudes who went yesterday. Jalen is the leader of those men too, right? So do you believe that there is, at the very least, as the leader, he does have a different set of obligations? Now, again, you might say he's got a different set of obligations, and one of those obligations has nothing to do with going to the White House. That's fine. That's a difference of opinion. But you can agree he does have a different set of obligations as the quarterback, as the leader, right? Can we agree on that? I appreciate Texas Tech. Nope, you don't think he has a different set of obligations as a leader? All right, I'll disagree with you on that. I disagree with you, Texas State. But again, I do appreciate it, and I don't think you're a bad person for disagreeing with me. I don't know why everybody goes down that route. It's fucking insane. Excuse my language. I really shouldn't. Theo says everyone has their own path in life. Our expectations are meaningless. Yeah, but But Theo, I talk about football for a living all day, every day. All right. I'm literally on the air for 4+ hours a day talking about football. It is my job to have an opinion, dude. You know, it's my job. Like if I just sit up here and said, oh, I have no expectations for anybody because they don't matter, then we wouldn't have a show. I wouldn't have a channel. Birds 365 wouldn't exist. The National Football Show wouldn't exist. And I'd be working at Walmart. I think there's a little bit more depth to it than that. No, I did not get a new mic. Not yet. I got to get one though. Atrax is going hard on Z. Has he made a good point yet though? Zander, you're a certified sucker. That's all he's got. Again, I'm cool to hear differing opinions, but calling me a suck out over and over again doesn't really tell me that you have any complexity of thought. In fact, it might tell me your IQ is very low. Zander, you're giving us too much time now. Melissa, I love the time I give everybody over here, man. It's part of what I do. All right. Part of what I do. Here, let's go to D Cruz, who disagrees with me. You're just ignorant, not a lapdog. It's obvious you're a chud, bro. Kind of go. You please educate yourself and try to understand a man's perspective before criticizing him. Well, D Cruz, why don't you do the same, brother? Aren't you not educating yourself and trying to and not understanding my perspective? Am I entitled to a perspective, D Cruz? Or no? If you point out my ignorance, I will read your comment. Big Sill says, missed a chance to go to Arlington National Cemetery. It hurts. That's part of it as well. What the F is a suck out? I have no idea. SMD, I got no clue. Bruce says, stop insulting Zander. He's our guy, and this is the best place. That's all right, Bruce. Hey, listen, Bruce, part of what I do is make an opinion. I do not believe that my opinion should be received and accepted by everybody. All right? I won't put myself on that high horse. I will not put myself on that high horse. My opinion is just that. It's my opinion. Not everybody's got to agree with it. Z, I bet you would be great at Walmart. You could sell ketchup popsicle to a lady wearing white gloves. That's pretty funny, Rich. I would definitely be a damn good Walmart employee. No doubt about it. I've always been a good employee everywhere I've been. Dominique says, Zander, honestly, this is truly unique administration, man. For this particular situation and particular administration, you can't criticize if someone does or doesn't want to go. I'm fine with that take, Dominique. You jumped Hurts on me, guy. I jumped Hurts because I said, Jalen Hurts might have 100 or 1,000 instances a year that we can discuss on the football field, as a leader, as a community man, as a guy in Philly, as now a media mogul who's all over Time Magazine. He can have 1,000 instances of things that we can discuss. If I gave 999 of them praise and one wrong, I jumped Hurts? What? Come on, brother. Come on, man. That doesn't make sense, bro. That's what I like people who disagree with me. I have no problem with that. I think there's a large portion of people who disagree and just want me to step in line. It's like, dude, we got a different opinion. I mean, how many people do you know in your life? How many people do you hang out with in your life? How many people do you talk to on a day-to-day basis that you don't agree with on everything? Welcome to the real world. Yeah, thank you, Cody. But again, I said one instance of bad leadership, so I'm not a fan of him. Now people are shitting on Barkley. So predicted. This is about Trump hating. Hurts is not a leader. Sills, I knew you would take that. I knew you would go down that. Now he's giving me praise. You are the biggest lapdog suck out in America. Now I'm big enough to be the biggest suck out that exists in the country. How about that, everybody? Now that is a high honor. Okay. The number one in the country. Holy shit, baby. Woo! Holy moly. You got to be kidding me. Fly Eagle says, Zander, you say all the time that you don't like being told what to do. Absolutely. But I also understand that as a leader, you do have things that will come up that you might have to put the team, the entity, whatever it is you lead first before you put your personal convictions. That's part of being a leader. Again, I don't have to like it. Jalen might not have liked going to the White. I'm not asking him to like it. But as a leader, I believe that he should have went. Let's go to some super chats here. This guy has become hilarious. You can suck a watermelon through a straw, Xander. Suck out. I love that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man, for being here. Brian Pumper, don't think it's just a Hurts thing. Clutch Sports is behind this 100%. LeBron, Ramon, James is the enemy. He cooks Stephen A., but not Kevin Gates, SMH. Leave it to Pump to have an interesting take. Pump, I love you, brother. Devontae checks in. Appreciate Devontae, who I think has had some really good rational thoughts here. Anyway, guys, how about that undrafted free agent Malik Carr? Dude is a 6'6" tight end, 265, ran a 4.6. I think he makes the team. Check his tape. I'm going to watch his tape because his name came up today. Johnny Mack got a kick out of his name being mentioned. Hashtag Trump 2028. I don't care to make a political stance on this right now. Z, I don't always agree with your opinions, but I respect your point of view. I appreciate that, Theo. I think that's what makes the world turn, brother. I think that's what makes the world turn. This is just hilarious. You can suck a watermelon through a straw. Woo! The biggest suck out in the country. That's a high honor. That's a high honor, baby. All right? James Jones says, I agree with you. You're my boy, Jan. Thanks, James. But it's not about you agreeing with me. I really don't. My whole point in this is not to get people to agree with me. If you do, that's cool. But it was just to make a take, just to make an opinion. I had an opinion on it. I put it out there. People evidently can't handle it too well. All right. Let me load up the Twitter. You guys want to see the Twitter? It's so funny. I mean, my Twitter has not stopped blowing up. What are we up to? View count. Let's look at the view count. Let's check it out. 369,000 views on Twitter of people crying. Holy mackerel. 369,000. This thing is taking on a new life. Holy moly. He called you Kanye West, Xander. Good Lord. He's got all sorts of opinions on me. It's all good, man. It's all good. I think real people, real rational people can see that it's just a debate, it's just a discussion. There's multiple sides to it. I'm not acting like Jalen Hurts is enemy number one in Philly. I thought one thing happened with the team, and I thought the quarterback should have went. He decided to not go. He's entitled to that decision. I'm entitled to opine on it. All right. When the name calling starts, argument is lost. Theo, I try not to call people names. All right. SMD says, what did you say on Twitter? I'll read you it. All right? I'll read you my post on Twitter. All right. It's basically what I said here, SMD. It's the same thing. I just think Jalen should have went. I don't think it's about the politics of it. I said, today was a terrible showing of leadership from Jalen Hurts. The White House visit isn't about politics. It's about honoring the team, the work, the journey, the accomplishment that they achieved together. It's a once-in-a-lifetime moment for a lot of players and coaches, and it represents something bigger than any individual belief. When you choose not to show up for that, you're not just skipping a photo op, you're putting your personal feelings ahead of the team. Leaders don't do that. I don't care if you love the president, hate the president, or couldn't care less about politics. It's not about who's in the office. It's about respecting the team, the moment, and the tradition. If Jalen Hurts truly saw himself as a leader of the team, he would have been there, plain and simple. Instead, he skipped it and then tried to cover it up with scheduling conflict. That's not leadership. Leaders are honest. Leaders stand on what they believe. If you're going to make a decision like this, at least own it. Philly fans don't need to agree with you politically, but they will always respect you for being real. What makes it worse is that it put a cloud over what should have been a purely celebratory moment. It turned a team honor into a headline about who did or didn't show up. And that's the kind of unnecessary distraction true leaders should prevent, not create. Jalen Hurts had a chance to set the tone that winning, brotherhood, and team matter more than personal politics. He didn't do that. And that's not just disappointing, but it's a reflection of where his priorities were in that moment. Leadership is about sacrifice. It's about putting yourself second. Today, Jalen Hurts put himself first. So, yeah, that's what I tweeted out. And boy, did it invoke a reaction. Boy, did it invoke a reaction. All right. I think Zander is focused on how it should be. I agree with how it should be, but then there's just how it is. Curtis, that's a great take. That's a great take. It's a great take. Philly Dot Sanders, just keep doing you. It's all good, man. Look, I don't care that people bash me personally. I really don't care. Zoe says, terrible showing of leadership. I promise you, Xander, no one will care. Well, tell Zoe, again, I make opinions on sports, okay? I talk about the Eagles legitimately all day, every day for a living. It's what I do day in and day out, morning, noon, and night for 16 plus hours every single day, Zoe. Do you just want me to not have an opinion if the opinion doesn't align with yours? Or do you just want to say you disagree? If you disagree, again, fine. Okay. All good. We can disagree, man. Xander, you wrote an entire dissertation. Is that a dissertation? It's called X. Twitter was for communist. LOL. Whatever. Don't care. I disagree with that, Xander. That's all right, Prince. Agree to disagree. Oof, not going to lie, Z. That sounded like an attack. I thought it was a failure of leadership in that moment. If you take it as an attack, it's not an attack on him. It's one moment of bad leadership. Again, there's 1,000 moments of an instance or 1,000 instances of Jalen Hurts on the field, off the field, leadership, public, personal, everything that you can talk about. This has been the first thing I've said I don't agree with what he did. It's not an attack. It's not an attack. I mean, come on, man. It's not an attack. I'm not attacking him. All right, some funny stuff in here. Some funny stuff in here. Z, it's a no-win battle. I do see that. All right. Flexen says, I stand with Big C. Thanks, bro. It ain't about that. I'm just happy you got some complexity of thought to you, bro. Dakota says, what a fucking tweet, there. See, some people like it, some people don't. It's all good. It's all good. Again, I'm not begging you to agree with me. I really don't care. I'm not self-righteous enough to believe that you have to agree with all of my opinions. SMB says, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. Again, I would have gone, but I'm not going to call him a bad leader of the football team. Same as Brad. I don't think he's a bad leader. I think it was one moment of bad leadership. That's all. I don't think it makes him a bad leader. Right? In fact, it's the first thing I've ever seen in Jalen Hurts' career, starting from when he became in the public eye, which I was at, by the way, his first game ever in the public eye in college, in Jerry's World, Alabama versus USC. Wasn't even supposed to start that game. It's the first thing in 8 or 9 years of a public career where I thought Jalen Hurts made the wrong decision as a leader. The first time in 9 years. I think that's pretty impressive for him. I think that's pretty impressive. You know, I really think that's pretty impressive. But again, I'm not just going to get in line, you know, because people don't agree with it. Hurts is more important than Trump. He certainly is to this football team, Memorize. There's no doubt. D. Cruz checks in. Opinions aren't equal. Trump deports people to concentration camps. Real leadership is not showing up. Being indifferent to evil isn't respectable. Look at the pictures. Your post was terrible. I appreciate you sharing your differing opinion. Dank, I disagree. No problem. No disrespect to Z. Appreciate you, bro. All right. Appreciate you. I have no do in the fight. I'm here for the entertainment value while I bake. That's pretty funny. All right. Enjoy. Enjoy whatever it is you're up to. All right. Enjoy it. Your post supports right-wing assholes. Has nothing to do with politics. Don't give a shit what your politics are. Don't care people that like Trump. Don't care people that hate Trump. Literally do not care. 75 million voted against. 75 million voted for. It's clearly a divided issue. Don't you see this? Don't you see this? It's nothing to do with Trump. Could not care less about Trump. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Zilch. In my opinion, about Trump. But I understand that people have made it bigger. You can't take the heat, Xander. Apologize to Jalen today. Bitch, I ain't going to do anything that you tell me to do. I'm going to do what I want. All right? And that's make an opinion. If you don't like it, so be it. Just like Jalen Hurts can say to me, I don't give a fuck what you think. He's entitled to that too. This guy says, I would not celebrate with Hitler or Mussolini. Okay. Well, I don't think Trump is Hitler or Mussolini. All right. Two of the most murderous dictators in the history of all of mankind. But I digress. Your post is uglier than your mug. Yeah, keep looking at it, big guy. Keep looking at it. I'm not going to lie. I was quite jealous seeing Saquon hop off Marine One. I do think that was cool. I think it's different, though, SMD. Like, because people, and I understand this, people would say, hey, you're a hypocrite. You told Saquon or told people to stop being mad at Saquon. What's the difference with Jalen? Well, the Saquon riding on whatever, Marine One yesterday and all the things, that's like Jalen golfing with Obama to me. Okay, what the fuck cares what I think of that? It's their personal life. They can do whatever they want. The team, yesterday was a team thing, right? It wasn't like Saquon didn't go to the White House on his own time. Well, he did, but that's what I'm not criticizing. The team went to the White House yesterday. All right, I'm done with this topic. I'm done. I'm done with it. I've given my piece. I've given my piece. For the people who disagree and can at least respect a differing opinion, I appreciate you. For the people who think I'm a suck out, all good. All good. I encourage you to talk to some people. Eagletron, Big Z, I agree with your take. I was disappointed in the players that were no-shows. They're representing their fans to the world, good, bad, or indifferent. SMD says, Xander's not ugly. Thanks, SMD. I appreciate that. Stay in your white lane. Okay, so I'm a white guy, so I can't have an opinion on anything. Imagine if I told you that. OUTRAGE, imagine if I told you that. Let's point out, you want to see hypocrisy? Let's point out hypocrisy. What if I told you that, OUTRAGE? You're not white, so you can't have an opinion. What does that make me? What does that make me? Come on, man. Elevate the conversation. Real Zeal, checking in. Jalen should have went because he disagrees with Trump. You have to show up in a conversation with people you don't agree with. If not, truly, we are doomed as society. Kind of trying to be what I'm doing here. I'm trying to have the conversation. I'm not mad. I don't care that people don't agree with me. Again, I told you, I brought up Lord Brunson. I give him a lot of credit. I think his channel's awesome. I think he's a great content creator. He disagreed with me vehemently. I think that's fine. I think he's entitled to that belief. He's certainly entitled to that belief, and I thought he defended his belief well. I thought he defended it well. Let me make sure I got all my super chats. And just a shame we couldn't watch Biden stutter through the names for 2 hours reading a prompt again. Say that's pretty funny. Again, not going political, though. It's not about the guy in the White House to me. All right. Lots of testosterone missing. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, everybody. You want to talk about the draft, or you want me to end Xander time now? Is everybody's panties two in a bunch? All right. Can we all acknowledge it's just one opinion and we can continue to move on? Or should we wrap this up? Should I end the channel, end the show, end everything? Oh, my God, delete my Twitter. Oh, my God. People disagree. Oh. All right, should we wrap it up? Let's wrap this sucker up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up here. You know you want to kick it with us there. Edward, I love kicking it with you guys, man. I love kicking it with you guys. And Reyes says, JAKIB strike. No, Reyes. Don't do it to me, Reyes. See, I love Reyes because me and Reyes disagree about a lot of shit. We agree about a lot of shit, but he's a good dude, man. He makes sense. He's willing to discuss and learn the difference. Or at least accept that there's difference in opinions. And Reyes thinks Jalen Hurts is God for skipping the White House. It's all good. It's all good. All good. Fly Eagle says, no, I don't reach the threshold to make money on X, unfortunately. So I'm not making a single dollar on that post for the people that think I'm profiting on it. Fly Eagle says, Z, we're like a big family. We fight, but we'll all be at the dinner table tonight breaking bread. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Xander versus the people of JAKIB. No, Fredo. I'm not putting myself between me and my people. We just got a difference of opinion. That's all. Kyle says, Xander, I'm getting sick and tired of these people talking about Hitler because of my late grandfather who survived Nazi Germany. Kyle, I can understand why that would upset you greatly. I could understand, Kyle, why that would upset you greatly. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your super chat. All right. Prince, Prince. I know you hate when I go, buttercup talk, I guess you could call it. But I love you, Prince. I love the way you agree with shit or you disagree with shit. All right. I think you do it the right way, Prince. He says, I genuinely want to meet some of you guys to check your temperature. LOL. That's great, man. That is great. Zander, the face of Suck Out America. That's me. I am that guy. I am that guy. All right. I am that guy. All of us can agree that we agree on more than we disagree. I am right. That's the thing I think most people forget. I tried to say it to somebody last night. There was a girl, I'm blanking on her name. I'd like to get her name right because she does have a platform. She's pretty good. Real Key, I think it is. Real Key Eagles. Let me look it up. I just felt like she got so combative with me. Like, we're waiting. I'm like, I'm not trying to fight with you, man. Like, we probably have a lot more in common than we have disagreements. Most of us. All right? Most of us. Most of us. Holy shit, this Twitter thing just won't die, huh? I can't even look at my phone and fucking this is bombarded with notifications. All right. I'm gonna try to use that word that they suck at. SMD. I don't see the application. All right. Devontae checking in. You would think men who have secured millions in generational wealth off the backs of fans in America while playing a sport would be more patriotic. Well, that's a whole nother conversation, Devontae. I'm almost not ready to go down that road because of. Let's just let this simmer down for a second. All right, these people are. I don't think Devontae. You know what I call that? Elevating the conversation to at least understanding the complexities of thought between different human beings and their perspectives. I don't know if everybody's ready for that. A lot of people watching on my Twitter, which is interesting. A lot of people watching over on my Twitter. Let me get a couple more comments and then we're done. This guy's relentless. You got to give him credit. He's at least relentless. He decided to stay here for what, 40? We're 44 minutes into Xander time. My guy's still calling me a suck ass 44 minutes later. I can almost tip of the cap. All right. It's a tip of the cap from me. It's a tip of the cap from me. Hertz was assisting efforts to reconstruct the Bikini Atoll after intense storms. 405 kV. Is that what the Twitter's up to? Hilarious. That's hilarious. Let's get that sucker to 1 million. Let's get that sucker to 1 million. All right, everybody. What are we thinking of the draft? All right, what do you guys think of let's talk Jahad Campbell for a little bit. All right, I got to go at 11 here. I got some stuff to tend to, but let's talk Jahad Campbell. What's your guys' level of concern on those injuries? All right. People brought up Jahad Campbell's injuries, the two shoulders, two knees. I think that's a little concerning. No, I mean, look, I'll say this. I trust the Eagles staff more than John does. I think the staff would obviously have to check out on that. And if they did, then I feel much better about it. But, I just wonder, I think we need an impact player in year one, man. I think we need an impact player in year one. I'm hoping he can be that. Emre says, is it confirmed dual shoulders, dual knees? I just heard it was one of each. So the wording, Emre, I'm not going to lie to you, the wording was a little off. John seemed to think that, yes, it was both shoulders and both knees. Let me read you the Albert Breer report so you can kind of make up your mind on it and see what you think. Let me find the tweet. Give me one sec. Let me find the tweet. Let me pull up John McMullen. Go. Oh. Where is this thing? All right, so here it is. Albert Breer, and this is a quote. All right, so make of this what you will. Embrace, I'm curious to hear what you think of it. Albert Breer, quote, I'd say Howie Roseman's first-round pick this year, Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell, is a little like 2 years ago with Jalen Carter. In both cases, there was a reason why the guy was available. With Carter, it was checkered off-field history that Philly felt well-equipped to manage. By the way, terrible comp. With Campbell, it's his shoulders and knees. Yes, plural on both counts. So there's the sentence. With Campbell, it's his shoulders and knees. Yes, comma, plural on both counts. And again, this is one where the Eagles are more equipped to take on the risk than others because they don't need to pick to hit. So, I mean, to me, that sounds like both, right? Plural on both counts, shoulders and knees. Sounds like both shoulders and both knees. I don't know the severity in each shoulder or in each knee, but Emre says, I don't know, Emre. To me, it sounds like both, you know. I don't know what to make of it too much. Kimbo says, still concerned about the injuries, i.e. Nakobe. Yeah, I don't know when Nakobe's going to be ready, Kimbo's. I'm not sure when he's going to be ready. I'll say this. John did give me a little bit of confidence in Nakobe returning. You know, we talked about how he was much ahead of schedule. He was walking already at the Super Bowl with obviously the injury coming just a couple weeks prior. So I think Nakobe will be back. I'm going to put the latest on Nakobe at like week 4. You know, week 4. Week 4. But we'll see. We'll see. You guys remember this guy, Luke's dad? He's checking in from Twitter. He calls me the cracker of the day. So he's got nothing to add to the conversation. Remember this guy when he cried because he was shitting on Cilio in his chat, and then Cilio clapped back at him like people should if people shit on you. And then he made a stink. I'm canceling JAKIB. I hate JAKIB. I hate this channel. I got blocked. I went on Twitter crying about how we're the worst channel in the world. Remember this guy? That's a classic guy right there. Yo, Luke, appreciate you still watching, brother. It's a couple months later and you're still locked in. A couple months later. I call that a JAKIB W. I call that a W. Thank you, Luke's dad. Kimbo says, do you think we are keeping Nakobe? Not after his contract, I won't lie. I don't think they pay him. I don't think they pay him after his contract. SMD. Cracker of the day. Okay, that's enough internet for me today. Texas T checking in. If Mondon is ready, him, Ball, and Trotter can hold it down until Campbell and Dean are ready. I agree with that. And I think Mondon's going to be pretty good. Obviously, played his college ball at Georgia, was a pretty good player there. So, I do kind of think he was the insurance policy on Dean, not so much Campbell. Like, I do agree with John where I think they're trying to use Campbell as a lot more than an off-ball linebacker. Now, maybe it doesn't work, but, like, to me, I think Smile Mondon was more of a insurance on Dean than Jahad Campbell was. But I could see both sides. She says if Mondon's ready, him, Bond, and Trotter can hold it down until Campbell and Dean are ready. I agree with that. I definitely agree with obviously Bond is a big one being back there, secures that position pretty good. And you got Nakobe, who will probably I say return week 4, and then you got Mondon. I just don't know like how good, how ready is Mondon going to be in year 1? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going down the Trump road anymore. Done with the politics, guys. Let's move on. All right. I've said my piece on it. All right. I think I've explained myself. I've taken some pushback. I've read some comments of people that didn't agree. I respect your guys' different opinions, and let's move on. All right. Go take a walk, low IQ dumbass. D Cruz, thanks for the super chat a little bit earlier. Let's move on, brother. Let's move on. All right. Let's move on. Brian Pumper checks in with the super chat. Thanks, Brian. Z, make sure you reiterate to Johnny Mack that we drafted the next Fred Warner. Dude be crying because the Vikings drafted a guard at 24. Who's the next Fred Warner? You think Jahad Campbell is? Jahad Campbell would be a huge upside for him. I don't know if he's going to be used that way though, Pump. I don't know if he's going to be. You think Campbell's used like Warner? Warner's the best off-ball linebacker in football. So Michael G says, per Fran Duffy of PHLY, he does great work. Campbell is a better pass rusher than an outside linebacker. I'll tell you what, I'm a Bama fan, Michael G, and I watched him every Saturday. He was a damn good linebacker, too. So maybe he's a better outside linebacker, better pass rusher, excuse me. But, man, he was a damn good off-ball linebacker in college. I mean, some of the tape you watch on him, he was all over the place, man. All over the place. Like a Cooper DeJean at linebacker type thing, where like he just flew to the ball. Like you couldn't believe how quick he got to the ball in some place. J-Mac is hell-bent on him not playing linebacker. Yeah, well, to be fair, Melissa, J-Mac talked to Howie after, and Howie's like, this guy's not, basically said he's not going to be an off-ball linebacker. Basically pointed to what Micah Parsons became, basically pointed to what, Abdul Carter did at Penn State, and kind of likened that to Jahad Campbell. I do think that would insinuate that they're not trying to use him as an off-ball linebacker. SMD says, love you, Xander. Thanks for respecting everyone's opinions. I respect your opinions as well. Take care. SMD, take care, man. I appreciate that. SMD, I love you too. I appreciate you. And I absolutely do respect your opinion, even if it's different than mine. Midnight Lexicon, that's what I was thinking, Big Z, like a DeJean. Yeah, he flies around the field, man. He flies around the field. There's no doubt about it. I'm really curious. The other thing with the defensive players that I think we all have this feeling, maybe this is something we can all agree on today. I think we all feel a lot better because Vic Fangio is our defensive coordinator. Like, I think we all inherently trust that Vic Fangio is going to, at the very least, give us the best chance to get the most out of these players. And I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to say. All right. By the way, I was listening to Vic Fangio on Josh Shapiro's podcast or whatever it was, the governor of Pennsylvania. And it was dope. I mean, he legitimately said, I started my career in Philly and I'm going to end my career in Philly. Like, he basically told us, yeah, he's going to retire in Philly. I don't know what that means in terms of length. Will he coach 3 more years, 5 more years, 8 more years? I don't know. How old is Vic? But I thought that was pretty cool to hear him say, like, he would like to end his career in Philly. He is 66. 66 for Vic Fangio. So, I don't know, man. Andy Reid, 67. How long you guys think Vic Fangio goes, man? I'm not sure. Prince says, I hope you all realize every player that they drafted on defense were all instinctive players. Prince, they absolutely were. Dude, I said that to Ian today when we had him on. By the way, great interview with Ian, man. That dude's good. I really like him. But I said that in the middle of the interview. I'm like, as he's breaking down, he literally broke down our top 5 picks, which were 5 straight defensive guys. Didn't take that first offensive player till the 6th pick of the draft in the 5th round. I'm like, dude, there's a trend here. Clearly a trend on the defensive guys that they're going for. And I happen to think that Vic Fangio has some say in that trend, right? So Vic is like 92. Nah, 66, but I hear you. Xander, consider who Vic had coached before. I see Campbell being a Van Ginkel, Khalil Mack type player. It's a good comp. Definitely Van Ginkel. All right. Definitely Van Ginkel. Man, Prince, this is where I 100% agree with you, bro, that there's no W here. Like, Prince, of all the opinions I take, I wish I went with a different opinion about a different topic, because this is just clearly, I mean, people are just incapable of having a conversation. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's look at the chat right now. Look, are you the guest speaker at the next KKK meeting? What a ridiculous take, bro. What a dumb take, bro. That's insulting. It's just stupid. Cedric checks in. All love, Xander. We're all good people who happen to disagree on something small. The big picture is you are a good guy. Well, I appreciate that. It's not about me asking you to think I'm a good guy, but I do think that's a part of it. People love to clump you. What I always say, don't let people put you into a box, man. People will put you into a box if you let them. Don't let them put you into the box that they want you to be in. Michael G says the possibility of Campbell and Bond on the field at the same time gives Vic so many options. Imagine a QB not knowing which one is rushing and or in coverage. I do agree with that. That's where the beauty of Vic is going to come in with these players and the versatility that they have. Even the versatility of, Andrew Makuba has been interesting to listen about. Interesting to hear about, So I'm super pumped, man. I'm super pumped to see what Vic does with these people. I'm super pumped. Juan says, maybe just stay out of the politics. Yeah, I guess I will, Juan. But Juan, I will at the end of the day. I do, like I said, I do a football show 4 or 5 hours a day, bro. All right. I comment on the Philadelphia Eagles, not on politics. The Eagles were at the White House yesterday, which was a fusion of the two worlds. I had to take on it. You brought out the crazies unintentionally. Really didn't mean to, but maybe I underestimated the what we think. Cedric says, Zander, who do you think is the starting front seven when the Eagles are fully healthy? I think it's going to be a Jomo. I do think a Jomo is going to be the starter. A Jomo, Carter, Nolan Smith. Who's the opposite edge? Is it Campbell? Not going to be Bryce Hufflepuff. Could be Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt? Jordan Davis in the middle there. And you got Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond. Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Mora with Jomo, Nolan Smith, and I might lean Jalix Hunt. I'd probably say you said because of the question you asked, which is when the Eagles are fully healthy. Let's assume Jahad Campbell is fully healthy. I'm going to put Jahad Campbell out there over Jalix Hunt. All right, I'm going to put Jahad Campbell out there over Jalix Hunt. And then I think Hunt is a rotational piece on the edge. You think we're going to do anything with Trotter? I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll see. Texas T says, do you think all the holes are filled now? No, I don't. Well, I think you addressed Texas T for the most part, but saying the holes are filled is an assumption that every player we drafted is going to pan out. But I do think at the very least, Texas T, you got bodies everywhere. Like safety, you brought in Makuba. Cornerback, maybe Adoree Jackson is the hole, is the fill for the hole of Slay and Isaiah being gone. Maybe they have confidence that Keeley or Eli Ricks could be that swing role. And then if either Ringo or Adoree Jackson wins the starting cornerback 2 job, maybe you feel better about that depth because it drops one of them back in there. Maybe that hole is filled. Safety, you filled the hole. Obviously, you brought in Makuba. The player still has to pan out. You lost Milton Williams. You brought in Ty Robinson. I think that hole has clearly been addressed. The edge, you lost Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat. I think obviously you brought in the, Uche Ojulari. I think even in a way, Jahad Campbell contributes to that hole being filled. I think that's pretty good. The right guard, I mean, do I need to address that? We got like 14 offensive linemen battling it out right now in the depth. So maybe the holes aren't all filled, but at the very least, I do believe that the bodies are there. She says, you don't believe in Ojulari or Uche. I'm not saying I don't believe in them. I just don't know what they're going to be yet, I like Uche a little bit more than Ojulari. Other people seem to like Ojulari more, but we'll see. It's 11 a.m., Xander. End this. I got to work. Prince, I'm out of here. My biggest concern now is cornerback. Yeah, Kyle, I'm kind of with you. Melissa says, Z, you got to acknowledge Baum was wasted in New Orleans, only being used as a rusher. Yeah, well, that's a coaching thing, man. That's a coaching thing for sure. All right, that's a coaching thing. Xander, I have a feeling Jailers would outdo Nolan Smith due to injuries. That's an interesting take, Abe. I think Jalix, there's a couple people who've been super high on Jalix Hunt from the start. I think Joe Whitt was one of them. A couple other people, but he clearly looked really good late in the year last year. Like if you turn on our late year tape and just watch Jalix Hunt, I mean, he is a freaking beast, man. I mean, he was shaking and baking late in the year last year once he found his rhythm. The biggest steal was Williams. 2 years at Stoutland U, and he's going to be ready to take over for Lane. He's going to be a swing tackle by 26. Listen, I hope you're right, SC Birds. I was happy to hear Ian Cummings because I said that, if you guys remember, for those who consumed our draft coverage, right after the pick was made, I said, This is a guy who I felt would have went day 2 if he stayed in college another year. He came out after only 1 year starting after his junior season. And I'm like, this guy probably would have went day 2 if he stayed in school. He didn't stay in school. Now he's in Philly. I think it's a good situation for the Birds. This Howie we talking about, he definitely might trade for a corner. Lord Vaughn, there's no doubt that the acquisition season is not over. Drozone, what's up, bro? You missed a good one today, man. He says, I'm so hyped I didn't fully miss the show. You missed a good one. You missed a good one. Cyan says, you're putting Jalen in a box. He's a bad leader because he didn't go to the White House. No. Didn't call him a bad leader. Said one instance of bad leadership. One instance of bad leadership I disagree with. Very different. Two very different things. Very different things. I can think somebody is a smart person that makes a dumb comment from time to time, right? Like Prince. I think Prince is a smart dude. I think he makes stupid comments sometimes. All right. Doesn't mean I think Prince is stupid. Thinks that one comment is stupid. One instance of Jalen I thought was dumb. Dude, you commented on it. I've been off the subject, but he brought it back around. Well, I addressed your comment. Sorry, I won't address your comments anymore, Cyan. Put you on the shit list. I'll block you from the channel and we can move on with our life. Love Nolan. He'll be good. We wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without him. I agree with that. He had an excellent playoffs, an excellent end of the year. Really good. Really came on. Shady says, I'll say it again. In my opinion, Hunt will have a better career than Nolan. We will see what happens. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Good show. Appreciate all you guys for elevating the conversation. I did think we had some good takes in here. Even people that agree, disagree. It's all good. All right. I appreciate people who disagree and can at least see the complexity and why people disagree. All right. So I appreciate that. For the people who are dumb and want to, again, call me names or put me in things, so be it. I hope you find some peace in your life. All right. And good stuff, everybody. Anderson, Prince, I just had to use your Prince. You're polarizing. Everybody knows you, Prince. Everybody knows you, Prince. All right. Have a good one. Thanks, guys. All right. I see you all next time. Love all you guys. Stay tuned on the channel. We'll have plenty of content. I might even post up Xander time today because I do want people to hear my reaction to the big the outrage that I've sparked on Twitter, which really was not intentional. I just wanted to put my opinion out there. So we'll do that. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Love all you folks. See you next time, everybody.